All right, Inspire Beauty. It is Monday. We are halfway through the month. Man, I'm loving seeing all these different faces on tonight, you guys. This is amazing. This is good. I love seeing all your faces here to learn and grow. Tonight, we're going to talk about something that we haven't really talked about in a long time, and it's challenge groups. We've talked a lot about inviting. We've talked a lot about following up. We've talked, we have our Wednesday hustle hours together where we're working on our business activity trackers and just trying to figure out how we can help people jumpstart their journeys. But here's the deal. What happens when they say yes, right? Like, what do you do with them when they're ready to join you? Now, you're part of a team that I don't mind having people join into the challenge group that I'm personally hosting. And then, maybe you help out in some way, shape, or form. But the ultimate goal at some point is to lead and run your own rockin' groups. And that might be right now. That might be a month from now. Some of you, maybe that's a vision that's in a little while from now after you get your bearings. But just know that the ultimate goal one day would be for you to have your own little sisterhood where you have people coming in and your coaches maybe can put people in, right? That's the ultimate goal. So I'm going to share our screen and we'll dive in with some announcements to start. So let me just slide this on over so we can see everything. Okay. There we go. All right, so a couple things. Number one, I'm really excited about the leaderboard starting to fill up, you guys. It is, like I said, halfway through the month, and it's one of those things where you could go into this thinking like, oh, this is just, it's the springtime. People aren't quite ready yet. It's not quite summer, like people getting ready for summer. So, I'm just going to wait. Or you can erase that and just go for it for the rest of the freaking month, right? And figure out, how can I support people? How can I plug people into challenge groups and all that good stuff? So I'm loving seeing the leaderboard filling up. I can't wait till we can celebrate people who have hit Success Club 5 and especially Success Club 10, because at Coach Summit this year, you guys, there is a Success Club party that you can earn. If you help 5 people in April and 5 people in May, you will get an invitation to this exclusive invite-only Success Club party at Coach Summit. Okay, let me go down the list of some things about Coach Summit that you might not already know, reasons why I would love to have you there if you don't already have your ticket for it yet, or just some things to get excited about if you do have your ticket. So number one, specialized tracks are based on rank this year. It's the very first time they're doing this. Normally in the springtime, coming up here in a few weeks, we will get an opportunity to enroll for our track. Now, in the past, you would enroll for different training tracks. This year, you will be put into the track based on your rank as of June 6th, okay? So those of you who are gunning for the diamond track, you're gonna want to make sure June 6th is your cutoff date, your buy when for that. But you will still get to pick what workouts you want to do. If you want to add on any food, sometimes I don't typically add on the food, and we'll get into Summit and all the nitty gritty as we get a lot closer. But I don't typically get the food packages. But if you want to not have to walk around and contend with the masses of people in downtown Indy that weekend, you can always get little lunch boxes already pre-made, and you can pick yours up. Again, live workouts, that is one of the biggest reasons people love going to Summit, is they get to work out with their favorite trainers. You'll work out with your favorite trainer on Friday, and you'll also get a chance to do a mass trainer workout in the streets of downtown Indy early on Saturday morning. It's pretty stinking cool and pretty epic to see that many thousands of people in one area just all crushing their favorite workouts, from Shaun T, Jericho will be there, all of them, Autumn, you name it, they're there. The core is your shopping experience, and they announced it at Super Saturday that there will be a new Coach clothing line, and that's coming out at the core. And we will have we will be able to get first dibs on it, and the core is always 25% off, you guys, so you'll get a better deal than when you go home. So that's something to get amped up about and excited for. So the core is what it's called. Super cool. I'm planning, I just actually went and raced to meet my husband for coffee really quick. And I was like, babe, I'm just so excited about Indy. And I was telling him about a social hour that I'm planning for us on Thursday evening before the opening ceremony. I want to bring us all together for a couple hours and have a social gathering and be able to meet one another before we go into this incredible weekend and just have some bonding. There's some swag coming up, you guys. I got some hats that I think I'm going to be releasing to you guys soon for purchase, and just lots of fun things. Again, the Success Club Party workout is coming, and there will be a Diamond Leadership Dinner, you guys, that will be with me and Charlie for Diamond coaches and above. The qualification cutoff for that is not June 6th. You have all the way up until when you get to your Booty 2 Summit, so that Thursday. If you are Diamond by then, you will come to a private dinner, all on me and Charlie as our thank you to our leaders on our team, and that'll be on Friday night. So lots of fun things happening at Summit. Even more stuff. I know Heather on our team, she's mostly in our challenge group side. You don't see her as much on the team page, but she is a zoologist, or I don't even know her title, but she works at the Indianapolis Zoo, and she's always telling us that she can help us get into the zoo. I know some of you guys are getting Airbnbs ready. There's just so much going and so much buzz. So make sure you're grabbing the bull by the horns, getting excited, and telling your teammates to come along too. I want to shout out these 3 ladies really quick, Erin, Kristen, and Amanda, who are joining me in the next 8 weeks as we push for Diamond or Diamond again, and just leadership in general. Yeah. So the really cool thing is we just started this Diamond Dash group. It's the next 8 weeks. It's leading up to the Summit recognition cutoff of June 6th. It's also the cutoff, you guys, for our Diamond Retreat. That's this fall. And these ladies are in that group with me. And when I say with me, I mean it. Like, I am working on getting my second business center also to Diamond. So I'm in the trenches with them. But I love that Erin's in this group, because Erin is a new Diamond coach, and she's just working on, number one, not allowing herself to stay stagnant at Diamond like yours truly did for many years. So I'm working with her on that, but also to develop leadership skills around how you can help your brand new coaches get started, so that you don't just feel like you have this team of a bunch of people who are just sitting around doing nothing, right? And creating energy, creating a culture, just creating excitement around a team. And so I'm so excited that Erin is in that group. You might have already seen her shouted out for hitting Diamond. You're like, well, why would she be in a Diamond Dash if she's already Diamond? You guys, I'm in a Diamond Dash, and I'm way past Diamond. So it never is too late to keep teaching yourself, growing. I learn something new from all the different ladies that I have in these groups every single month or every single time we run them. So super pumped to dive in with these 3 ladies. And I'm just over the moon grateful for them for being bold and reaching out and just taking it upon themselves to say, Brittany, yes, I want in on this, and making that happen. So we started that today. Last thing, you guys, is this Saturday is our final book club for Girls Stop Apologizing. So if you haven't read the book yet, and you have the book, maybe dive in a little bit. And if you are reading the book, try your best to get through the book. But really, it's just going to be a wrap up of our biggest ahas and takeaways. So if you're not finished, no worries. But this will be the final Saturday that we do discuss this, and we'll take a little break from book club after that as we get ready to dive into another book in the summertime. It's also going to be a chance to work out live with me and with some of your other coach friends. So make sure you're checking out the headlines that I put up last night. It's the announcement post in the team page, so that you can see what's happening on Saturday, because you can do your workout with us in the morning as well as join us for book club afterwards, okay? The workout with us as well is open for anyone who is in our Ultimate Portion Fix groups. So if you have people who are doing 21-day fix with you in the UPF groups, make sure that they are invited. They don't just have to be coaches. They can definitely join and work out. The whole heartbeat behind it is so we can maybe answer questions for them after the workout if they're struggling with anything with the containers, with understanding how to meal plan or prep, or just any sort of support that they need from us at that time. Okay, so make sure you're inviting your current customers, clients as well, and then coaches, of course, are also able to join that. Whew, I had a mouthful of headlines and announcements, so let's dive in, you guys. I want to lay the foundation for you real quick about what challenge groups were like for me about 5 years ago when I started this business. At this point in March, April, May of my very first year as a coach, I started coaching in October. I didn't do a challenge group in November. I did a challenge group in December, but it was like a free group, like you could just do whatever you wanted. And then my very, very, very first like paid for challenge group that I ran was in January. It was absolutely terrible, you guys. Absolutely terrible. Like when you're like, I only have one person, Brittany. I feel you on a soul deep level, sister friend. Like when you say I only had 2. You know what I mean? Like, and I mean TOO2, like also. I only had as well. Like I understand that pain. Okay, but we have to find places to serve our people. And January was kind of a flop. In February, I teamed up with my upline coach, and it was like the worst thing that had ever happened to me in my life. And I'll get back to that in a second. And then by March and April, May, I started to get in a rhythm of like, okay, I know how to like set it up every month. I know how to like invite to it. And I started to kind of figure it out. But I will tell you that the first full year of me running challenge groups, first of all, I wasn't all in. I wasn't all in. I mean this sincerely. At that time, I was marathon training a lot. I was busy as all get out, which is like the common thing we hear from people. I was prioritizing things that shouldn't have been getting my energy, which meant that I was extremely busy and overworked, and I actually didn't have to be, but I just had my priorities in the wrong direction. So there was that. When I say I wasn't all in, like I would pre-post stuff, but then like I wouldn't actually check into my group or be in my group. I might not have even been doing Beachbody workouts with my challengers at the time, right? I wasn't spot on with my nutrition. I wasn't sharing things the way that I do now. I wasn't all in. So my challenge groups back then, they suffered because I just wasn't the greatest coach. Challenge packs also looked really different back then, you guys. Back then, a challenge pack was not getting Beachbody on demand and you had access to all these tools, right? Back then, a challenge pack was like this. Hey, Brittany, do you want to join as a coach and get a T25 challenge pack? What do you want? Chocolate, vanilla, or greenberry Shakeology? Those are my three options. There was no vegan. Actually, I am lying to you. There wasn't even, was there vanilla? There was vanilla regular. Vegan vanilla took a really long time for them to formulate. But there were three flavors, greenberry, chocolate, and vanilla. About 4 months into coaching, strawberry came out, and that was really exciting. We could add that to the mix, but that was it. That's all there was. And you had to buy one program and you got the DVDs. So imagine if I have somebody who's like, sure, I'll be in your T25 challenge group, Brittany. And they buy T25 and they get the program, they open it up, they put that first DVD in, and they freaking hate it. What then? That person just doesn't participate and they put their discs back on the shelf. Challenge packs looked different back then. So then the next month I could be like, oh my gosh, maybe T25 wasn't your jam. Let's try out a 21-day fix, right? Because that came out in February. Let's try that. And so they try out 21-day fix. And then they're like, but I don't know how to use these containers. And I'd be like, well, I don't either. So go have fun with that. Like it just looked a lot different back then. And we didn't have the tools that we have now. Okay. And when I say I literally tried every type of group you can imagine, I had Shakeology only groups. I had 3-day refresh groups. I had groups that were multi-program. I had groups, like I said, my upline and I we co-led a group together. And when I say earlier that it was the worst experience of my life, I mean it, because I felt so dumb. Because she seemed to be rocking challenge groups. She seemed to have all her stuff together. And I felt like I could just like barely stay afloat. Like I was like floundering everywhere. And how we did this challenge group is we decided it was going to be T25 had just kind of come out that summer, and this was February, and P90X3 was coming out, which is like the 30-minute P90X. And so was it P90X? I think so. Yeah, it wasn't maybe it was Insanity Max 30. I don't know. It was a 30-minute program that was very comparable to T25. Basically, what we did is we did a showdown. Her customers were going to buy this challenge pack, and mine were going to buy that one, and then we were going to see who got better results. It was terrible. I don't even remember who got better results, but we tried it, right? We tried that. I've tried clean eating groups. I've tried fitness only groups. So when I say like in duration, I've tried 90-day groups, 60-day groups, 30, 21-day groups, just a week-long group. Like I've tried all sorts of combinations. The thing is though, at the end of the day, my challengers weren't seeing results. So my challenge groups back then, very few transformation stories, okay? Why? Well, part of it was because I wasn't creating an atmosphere that was allowing them to truly transform. I was talking at them versus now making it about a community and about growth, right? Instead, I was just kind of taking the Beachbody guides, which are awesome, by the way. Back then, they weren't as awesome, but they're getting better. But what I would do is I take the Beachbody guides, I take the stock images that Beachbody gives us, which again, some of them are better, but some of them I'm still like, it's a little Beachbody, like billboard-esque. I don't need to be putting a billboard up. But I would take all that and I would just spew it out verbatim. I wouldn't change it to sound like me. I wouldn't tweak anything. And that's what I used. It was boring. Of course they weren't getting results. They were bored to tears. There was a reason that my challengers didn't get results, but also that they fell off and there was attrition. That's because they weren't getting results. My groups were boring. I wasn't really all in. And I was trying to pull at all these different things, trying to make something work, trying to see what would stick, and it just didn't. But what I want you to understand about this is that 5.5 years ago or 5 years ago, I had to just freaking start. Some of you are very fortunate on this team because you come into a team that already kind of has these things in place that you can plug your people into. My team that I started on was not like that. Okay. And first of all, when I began, I started as a coach. I didn't start because I was in a challenge group and then I decided to become a coach. I signed up as a coach. So I'd never experienced a challenge group. And then my coach told me, you need to start running challenge groups. Well, I didn't really know what a challenge group was, but I just did it because that's what I was told I had to do. And so some of us, I love having our coaches within our challenge groups. I love that. And I love seeing coaches partnering together in challenge groups. But at some point, you got to just rip the Band-Aid and go fly and like really suck at challenge groups and be okay with that. Like give yourself grace that you don't have to be perfect at them when you start, because if you just keep running them and just keep like growing and improving and noticing what's maybe working and what's not, the only thing you can do is get better, but you just have to start, right? So my challenge groups now, the way you guys probably see them now, I have a name for it. It's called the Self-Care Sisterhood, right? It's like a branded name that I use in posts. I use when I'm talking about it. And this idea actually came from a free group. I actually created my free group to be this self-care sisterhood. And I was like, Brittany, why are you making your free group like the branded awesomeness, and then your actual paid for group where your people are actually paying you money to join this isn't getting like the best of you, right? Like Inspire Beauty is a branded thing. You guys get the best of me when it comes to coaching. So the Self-Care Sisterhood was a branded thing, but it wasn't going to my best people. It was going to my free customers, not my actual paying customers that just truly crave change. So I kind of flip-flopped that around. I asked myself, and I continue to ask myself, what kind of group would I do best in? I wouldn't do great in a group that was like boot campy style and like really aggressive. Like I wouldn't do well in that. I need a group that kind of takes it beyond fitness, right? I also had to understand that I have to be my best challenger. Number one, it builds credibility. But number two, it sets the tone and the expectation. If I don't comment on anybody's stuff, why the F would anyone else comment on anyone's stuff, right? I am acting how I want everyone else to act. And so what I witness at times is coaches who are like, oh, I just want my challengers to do this, but they're not actually willing to do that, right? And so we have to be willing, and we'll get into like setting expectations and stuff in our groups, but we have to be willing to not just set expectations, but to actually live out the expectations we've set. And if we can't because of a season of life we're in, then we can't expect it of others, right? It's just one of those things. I also decided that my groups would be women only. You guys, this was like, I don't know what I was doing for so long. My groups, I was trying to invite everyone. And because I was trying to invite everyone, no one got results. No one wanted to join because I was reaching out to everyone. Sometimes you have to really laser focus in on who you want to talk to. I found in my groups that whenever I'd have men, and this came through, again, like let's go back to where she was versus now. This came through trial and error. I learned after having men in my groups, I'd have men in groups and then I wouldn't, and then I would, and then I wouldn't, and then I would, and then I wouldn't. And what I started learning was that our women would actually open up more. They'd share their transformations. They'd talk more about like the real deep stuff that was happening when it was just them. But if there was a man in the group, they wouldn't. And so I started to realize that. And so I actually had to kindly tell my gentleman, like, I love you so much, but not in here, right? And so my groups now are women only. That's also a boundary I've set for my marriage. I'm not trying to train a man how to be like ripped body. Like that's, to me, in my marriage and with the relationship I have with Charles, I think it's disrespectful to him. And that's just me. But that's also like something I had to understand in my journey was like, oh, like, wait a second, I'm devoted to this guy. I'm not trying to serve these guys. And so understanding that about my journey, about myself, and about my boundaries around my marriage was really important too, into creating a space for us. I believe that we have a safe space now for battles that maybe they have no other place to turn to. For example, women can talk about infertility in our groups. Women can talk about nursing, or, like the the kind of like icky, unclean things that you might not talk about, like having, like stuff on your shirt after nursing or whatever, or just anything, right? Like, we can talk about that. We can talk about being on our period. We can talk about all these things that maybe, just maybe, they wouldn't talk about if men were in the group. And also battles that maybe people wouldn't share about: depression, anxiety. Maybe they're not happy at their job. Maybe there's a family issue going on, and there's nowhere else that they could actually turn to and talk about it. And so I wanted to create a safe space for these women to not just get there and like bitch and moan, like that's not the idea behind it, but to be able to feel comfortable enough to come somewhere to talk about something that they have no one else to turn to. I thought there was power in that. I think my groups now are fluid. They're ever evolving. I'm not going to sit here today and tell you I've done it, I figured out the formula, here it is, like copy and paste this, because next month I'm going to get better, and next month I'm going to get better. This month I tried something that I'd never really tried before, and I'll share it with you in a little bit. But to me, I was like, wow, like this is even getting better than it was before. And I also provide multiple opportunities to connect with my clients, meaning it's not just in the group. They have my phone number, they have my email. I share a weekly email with everybody every Friday. We can personally message each other through the app, right? And then also checking in and logging in. I also create, like I shared with you guys just a little bit ago, we've got our live workout happening on Saturday. There's another opportunity for them to connect with me, right? And so I try to create multiple opportunities for people to connect with me, so that it's not just like, well, if you're not checking into the challenge group, like you're dead to me, right? I want everybody to, because not everybody functions that way. I want to make sure that I'm helping meet people where they're at and catering to their learning style the best I can. So I'm going to be talking through 3 things that help me run kick booty freaking challenge groups. And they're really the thing that I love the most, you guys. Like, I love running challenge groups, which is crazy because, again, that's not how I came into the business. I didn't come into the business running challenge groups or being a challenger. I came in as a coach, but over time I found that I just love watching what happens in our groups. So I'm going to talk through enrollment and how I enroll people. I want to also talk about setting expectations. And I also want to talk about how we add value, because I think those are 3 areas where we could all just benefit from, especially if we're going to take off and try to run our own groups. Yeah. So my enrollment used to be very much like, we start on the 2nd. If you're not in by the 1st, you got to wait a month. And while I still give dates, and I have a calendar that, behind me that's like telling me what day my next group's starting and all this stuff, while I have that, there's truly no start or finish. I mean, the people on social media, to be honest, are not concerned with my start date of my challenge group. And they're not concerned with the start date of your group either. Like, people they're too busy. That stuff is going in one ear, out the other. What they are concerned with is if they can join when they're ready. So if somebody's ready to join me, they're going to join. So my enrollment is really ongoing. My theme changes every month, but my group, my sisterhood, is the same kind of thing. Okay? 2 things basically changed. I changed the name of the group, I changed the picture, and as it stands lately, and I might be shifting this, but as it has stood lately, I would open up a new group, right? But I think what's going to be happening is the group name will change and the picture, but the group will just continue going onward, right? So that way people who are in the group, they're able to just continue staying in that, and they don't have to like log into a brand new group every time. My content is based off my theme. So for example, this last month was Girl Rise Up, and everything was based off of Girl Wash Your Face. Girl Stop Apologizing hadn't quite come out yet, and so I was using Girl Wash Your Face as a giveaway opportunity for people, but I was also using it as an opportunity for us to not just worry about our fitness and our nutrition, but get in our minds and start talking to ourselves about what lies we've been telling ourselves, what's really holding us back. And so my question for you would be, what do you want to teach others or grow through in this month? You guys, I'm super excited. I already have this like crazy awesome idea that I want to share with you. But MM100, Morning Meltdown 100, is coming out in July at Summit. There's a book that I've been dying to get my hands on called 100 Days to Brave. What? How perfect. 100 Days to Brave and MM100 are coming out at the same time. Heck the freak yeah. Do you know what I'm going to base that group off of? I'm not going to base it off of fitness only. I'm going to base it off the devotion 100 Days to Brave. We're going to read through that together for the 100 days that we're also doing Morning Meltdown 100. So you have to start like connecting things. Like, what did you read? Even if you read something, you're like, I read this book and I loved it. Make it a part of your challenge group. There's a podcast series you love. Make it a part of your challenge group. I've had people talk about that they make like they love Friends or they love Game of Thrones, or I don't know. I can't relate to either of those. I can relate to The Office. That's about it. But like if you're like a Game of Thrones fan, make your challenge group Game of Thrones based. I don't know how you do that. I know nothing of the show, but you do. So make it that, right? But look at what do you want? Like, how do you want to base the monthly theme? And you can also give your group the chance to contribute, maybe in posting. One of the best ways that I got some of my newer coaches to really start trying this business out and like dabbling is I give them assignments. Hey, your energy is awesome in this group. And these are authentic. These are not like, I'm just blowing smoke up somebody's butt. No, like I really mean it. Your energy in this group is amazing. What if you take over my Monday posts? Can you post on Mondays for me for the remainder of this group? And giving your coaches a chance to contribute. Now, it's more challenging to do that if you don't have your own group that you're running to be able to then pour that into your downline if you are, leading others on this journey. Polls. If you're on Facebook, you could do a poll, but you could also do the poll, and like drop the emoji that goes with it or drop the letter that goes with it and do a poll for people about, what do they want to see next month? What would you like our group to be called next month? What book would you want to read together next month? And give them polls. Same thing could go along with challenges. I used to do this all the time. Like I remember specifically because Erin on our team would rock these challenges. She just ate them up, I think. Maybe she says it different. I don't know. But from my perspective, she ate it up. But we would do challenges in the summer, and we'd do like team challenges where I'd make them I would team them up with like 4 or 5 people. They'd have to make a team name, and then they would earn points with each other for certain things they logged, like water, nutrition, their workouts, things like that. But I also did individual challenges where like on Wednesdays, we do a push-up challenge. On Thursdays, we did a challenge where, you just had to drop your favorite motivational quote, like things that made them go outside of just pressing play and checking in, right? And we do giveaways for it and make it fun. But ask them what they want to see. Another thing, no, that's going to be an adding value. So in my enrollment process, you guys, it really is just an ongoing, ever-flowing thing. And having the energy from your past group bleed into your next group will help when new people are enrolled to be excited. Right now, the reason that a lot of my gals just start and do what they're supposed to do, like we're like, how do I get my people to talk in the group? How do I get my people to post in the group? How do I get my people to do what I want them to do in the group, right? How do you get them to do that? Start getting a tribe of people that are doing what you want them to do. And then when someone new enrolls, they're literally just jumping into a community that already does this behavior. And so they're just going to jump into that behavior most often than not, okay? In terms of setting expectations in a challenge group, first of all, I'm going to give a disclaimer, is that with expectations, you will get better and better and better at this as you go. Every time you interact with a challenger, every time you have to give tough love or someone's not doing what you want them to do and you have to kind of guide them in the right direction, every time you practice that, you're going to, my Fitbit just told me I hit 10K steps, you guys. I haven't been walking for like 30 minutes. So I'm talking with my arms, and I just hit my step goal. Anyway, oh, it's funny. Okay. Anyway, every time you practice this, though, setting expectations, you're going to get better. Okay, so you have to allow yourself to be bad at this as well. But what do you require to join? In my groups, it's a challenge pack. I require a challenge pack. Why is that? Because I'm doing you a disservice if I don't. Now, there are special cases and circumstances where maybe they don't get Shakeology, maybe they don't, do BOD or whatever. Like there are very, very, very few circumstances like that, but I figure that out when we're talking through their goals and why they want to join. But my initial requirement to join is the triple threat that we have: fitness, nutrition, and the support in my groups. You will do all 3 of these things because if you want the results you're asking for, you got to do all 3. I know this because I've watched people come into my groups time after time after time where I didn't require Shakeology, and guess what? They didn't get results. Why? Because they weren't all in. So for me, I've been in this long enough that I know what they need to have success. They need everything that I'm doing. Why have I had success for 5+ years? Because of these tools in my toolbox. If I take one of those tools out, I'm not going to have success. So I'm going to give you all the tools that I have. It's also important that they know when you're going to check in and post. It's a clear expectation that they should know. They should know what they can expect from you and what you want then in return. So I always let people know, this is what you can expect from me. If it's a group where like we know like every Monday is going to be this, every Tuesday is going to be this, I let them know that. I want everybody's expectations to be clear. I want you to understand where you will see me show up. Posting time, right? Every morning at 5 a.m. Pacific time is when my post goes through in the Challenge Tracker app, unless there is an issue or a glitch, right? And my check-in times, I always check in once, and it's always right after I do my workout and my shake in the morning, and that's when I check in, and I make sure that I'm loving on every single person. This is a part of my power hour, you guys. This is a part of my business building activities. So every day it gets checked off on my thing, right? On my tracker. This isn't just like, oh God, when do I make this a thing? Like, no, make this a part of your power hour. I think it's important to comment and interact with everyone every day. Okay? Why? Because I don't want anybody to ever feel left out. I don't want anyone to ever fall through the crack. And that happens. I'm human. But I don't want anyone to ever post something. And let's say, because remember, let's go back to what I created with the Self-Care Sisterhood. It's this place where people can come and bring broken pieces that maybe they can't share anywhere else. And they have a safe space to share that. The worst thing that could happen for me is that somebody comes to our group to share something that's really heavy on their heart, or they're having a really hard time, and no one says anything. That breaks my heart. And the thing is, because I say it, it sometimes isn't enough. The power comes when we all say it. And so reminding my community all the time that there's power in interacting with people, having them comment, tag other people, like tag somebody who inspired you this week, tag somebody who, like got you moving this week, right? And having them interact with one another every single day. Again, like I said earlier, are you willing to actually live up to the expectations you have? If you have these expectations of what you want of others, first of all, lay them out. Make sure that they're very clear for people, that they know what you expect of them right from the second that they sign up. Part of my invitation process to challenge groups, you guys, asks if they have 5 minutes to check in every day on the app. Part of my expectations is that they will be a part of this app group. If I see that they're not in the group, they are getting a message from me that week, that day. I'm not letting a group go 4 weeks and someone still hasn't joined. If I haven't heard back from them via the message in the app, then I'm going to send an email. Then I'm going to text message them. I'm going to get a hold of them because I want them to be in the group, because that's where the magic happens. So I have to say it over and over and over again, like a broken record. And it's okay, because that's my job as a coach. I'm not going to let somebody fall through the cracks, right? Another thing I witness coaches do all the time, not necessarily our coaches, but just coaches in general, is we overpromise. We talk about our challenge group as this like amazing place where you can get this and this and this and this. And then they get there and it's not actually that. Are you putting more energy into advertising your challenge group, or are you putting your energy behind the scenes into the challenge group so that those people who physically paid you money are then getting the best experience? Guys, I want you to remember that. That's the last bullet of setting expectations, is that people are paying you money. Like, I have somebody right now who I know her challenge pack is a stretch for her. I know this is a challenge for her. So I want her to know that I don't take lightly to that. I don't take lightly to the fact that you paying $200 to get yourself access into this group isn't hard for you, but I also want you to get results, and I want you to, I want your life to just like become so much better because of this sisterhood. That's what I pray and hope for. They're paying you money. And so it's not good enough. And I say this because I've been there where these people paid money and I didn't really give them a great experience. And so what do you think they did? Found somebody else, found something else, stopped joining my challenge groups, right? And that'll happen too if you're not giving them the delivering on the promise that you're saying, right? And last thing is adding value. And I think this is where you, like the challenge groups in general, are where you lay the foundation for your business, right? Because imagine, like, the best coaches on our team are people who are actually also our best challengers and are sold out in love with Beachbody. Those are our best coaches. because it just becomes like a natural thing, because this is a natural part of my day that I just want to talk about it because this is something that I love and it's given me results. So in your groups, right, we're laying the foundation of the business, because this is where our people are getting results, and this is where you as a coach become credible, because you can share your transformation all you want, but once you say, yeah, but check out what my girl Sue did, then all of a sudden people are like, oh my gosh, it's not just her, right? It builds credibility. In my pursuit of adding value, I've done so many things. Remember at the top I talked about that I would oftentimes just use a lot of Beachbody templates, and that helped me in the beginning. But over time I figured out that the more it sounded like me, and the more I got away from the script of what Shakeology is and it's scientifically proven to X, Y, and Z, right? The more I got away from that and just actually like talked life with people, the better my groups were, the tighter our community became. And so my monthly theme is woven into my daily themes. So some ideas, like you could do a Talk It Out Tuesday. Like, guys, talk to me about your workout. Talk to me about what's bothering you. Talk to me about something that you're really proud of, like Talk It Out Tuesday. This month, we started doing a Get to Know You Wednesday, and I've loved it. It's what I look forward to every week. Not only look forward to and like getting their answers, but I secretly look forward to prepping it, because I'm like, ooh, what do I get to know about my people this week, right? And it's a way for them to get to know one another, because I might know the different people in my group, but I want them to know one another too and to find commonalities. So that's something we've woven in. And honestly, I go on Pinterest, you guys, and I look for like Instagram story templates. And there's a lot of like get to know me Instagram story templates that people create and use. And like, I mean, there's just so many. And that's what I use. I just screenshot them and I add them into the challenge group. We started doing water. I don't do Water Wednesday. I probably should do Water Wednesday because that sounds a lot better. Maybe I'll adjust and work on that. But we do water check-ins on Tuesday. You could do Friday Flex, right? Saturday check-ins, Weekend Warriors, whatever it is, you guys. But try to find daily themes I think are helpful in like adding value beyond just like post your workout and your shake and let me slap up like, you know, what Autumn has to say today from the Beachbody Challenge Group Guide. No, your daily themes can be so much deeper than surface level. Another option is to give them a Zoom link to do the workout with you with their tribe live. So I like to offer it in a set time frame when like I know that I'm doing it, but you could also just have the link available at any time. Like let's say you run it on Facebook. In the cover photo on Facebook, you could put, you know, want to work out with your sisters, and you could put a time frame that you're typically doing, or they could click on it and just tell people, hey, I'm going to work out right now if anybody wants to pop on with me, and see about that in the groups. That's not something I'm currently doing. I like I said, I like to calendar it out and have a set time that I know I'm going to be doing that. But you could even always do it like, we're always going to work out together every Saturday morning, or I'm always going to open up a Zoom link for everybody to work out the first Friday of the month, whatever it is, right? I want to show you something. I'll get through these bullets, but I'm going to come back to this once they say yes. What do you give them? I'm going to come back to that because I think it's important. Like the biggest concern isn't that they're going to say no. It's like, what happens when they say yes? Like, what do we do next, right? For me, I'm going to get to what I give them immediately. But once they're in the group, things that they get that no one else gets from me. Weekly check-in emails where I can share my heart beyond just what's going on in the group. I can look at what the dynamic of the group is this week, and I can craft an email that caters exactly to what's going on in their hearts, right? Sometimes it's tough love. Sometimes it's like an attaboy, like you're like, go get them, girl, right? And sometimes it's I just want to check in. I just want to know where you're at, right? But I can change it up every single week. And that's something they get from me that no one else gets from me. Meal planners. I used to do weekly meal plans in there. I don't do it as much anymore, but because we offer so many more recipes and there's just so many more resources out there for Beachbody, but that was something that I would offer that you would get from me every single week. Again, doing giveaways. You could, once a new challenger joins you guys, why not, and this was on the National Wake Up Call this morning actually, write them a letter. Oh my gosh, what? Yeah, a letter, like in the mail. Write them a letter, tell them you're so grateful for them, and give them a energized stick. Right? Like that's so easy. And that means so much. You could do giveaways though with stuff like you could give away a shaker bottle, you could give away a sample pack of like I still have some pumpkin spice latte Shakeology, so you could like give that away because that's something that's limited edition that people can get their hands on. Beach bars. anything. You could do swag, you guys. I have Inspire Beauty swag. I'm starting to think maybe I need to do some self-care sisterhood swag and start getting people in on that. And just challenges as well, like we talked about. You could also look at, I like to use the file section in the app, but if you're on Facebook, you could use the units and resources that help them, so that at any time somebody coming into your group is going to have access to the tools that'll help them to be successful, whether that's recipes, whether that is a healthy eating out guide, links to recipes that you love to use. Maybe it's just information on how to change your Shakeology order, right? But if you have an ongoing group, you take time to plug that in there one time, and then it's there for anyone that joins your group after that, right? And this is a big gut check I gave myself when I typed this today, was to don't be the reason someone doesn't get results. Don't be the one that's like, we stand in our way enough. Don't be another reason that that person doesn't get results. Be the reason that they're going to get results, right? And so when we can come in to running these challenge groups, we can add value, we can set clear expectations for people, and we can make sure that we're enrolling people smoothly, ongoing, all the time to get them plugged into what we've got. I mean, the magic is there, right? I know that everything I do, like there's nothing I give myself the gut check a lot. Like, is there anything else you could have done, Brittany? Like if somebody falls off the wagon or they end up quitting or they return their Shakeology or whatever, these things happen, right? But I ask myself, was there anything I could have done differently? Was there anything I could have done better? And if the answer is yes, I'm going to go fix it. I'm going to get better at it. But a lot of times the answer is no. Like I've given that person every resource I could give them. I gave them my attention. I've set clear expectations for these groups. At the end of the day, and Autumn talked about it in my workout this morning, it's like they're the ones that chose to join, so they have to choose to do it too, right? So don't be the reason that they don't get results. Ask yourself, is there anything I can do better? And then if there is, then go do it. I'm going to stop the share really quick and reshare, because I want you to see something that I give to my brand. Ooh. Oh, maybe I have to do this. There we go. What's that? This is something I made on Canva, canva.com, you guys. And if you're newer to my groups or to the team, you've probably gotten this in your inbox, and you could totally use this too. But this is what I used to send this is all the information I used to send to a brand new client the second that they enrolled. And I'd be like, I always say, let me know when you're done with your order, because then I want to email you with some goodies. Right now, these are my goodies that I send them. It's a little fit kit. Basically, you guys, it gives them everything that they need to know. This is where I add value. Okay, so I congratulate them. I tell them about the apps they need to get. I tell them about how to log into Beachbody On Demand, and then how to use BOD. There's a tutorial. I talk about choosing a fitness program. I talk about how to get to their program materials. I'm walking them through this so that, again, I don't want to be the reason that they don't get results. I want to say, well, there's no reason they shouldn't have known where the program materials are, because I literally laid it out for them, right? How to set up their profile, how to track their progress, including like weights, measurement, photos, right? Logging their activity every day. Sometimes our people just don't even know. Like there are so many times where at the bottom, if they don't have the thing swiped on, we're not seeing their posts, and they don't know the difference because they're brand new to this. So we have to go in and be like, hey, I haven't actually seen your posts all week, but I see that you are posting. Can you double check that your thing's turned on? Because then we can love on your stuff and comment on it. And I just want you to feel like you're part of this, right? And us to celebrate you. So making that they share the note with the group when they're posting. So understanding that that's also a component. How to sync their activity if that's something they want to do. Talking about the Apple Watch, Nutrition Plus app. Oh, this is a good one. I want it to be crystal clear. How do you modify Shakeology? How do you switch your flavors? These are things that I have said like a broken record for 5 years over and over and over again. I put it all in one place. So you ask yourself, what are some of the things that I answer every time someone enrolls? What are the things that I answer every time someone's brand spanking new? Put those all in a thing, a PDF for them, or an email, or a video, or whatever it is, whatever is your jam, but put it there for them so they know. I also talk about mindset, and I share with them books that I would recommend, talk about before and after, and I even give them a little video of how to do it. This video is the Beachbody video, etc. And then they're done. They're basically ready to join. But this is just a little PDF. And guys, I will share this on the team page so that you can see it. What I prefer though, your brand isn't the Self-Care Sisterhood unless you're a brand spanking new coach, but whatever your brand is, like go on Canva, use this as a template and make it your own, okay? But that's another way that I've been adding value. Sorry, I'm just gonna look through the comments really quick. Nope, nothing to answer. All right, that is it tonight from me. Questions about challenge groups, guys? Let me hear them.
So since I've only got 2 challengers right now, if I did start my own group just with those 2 and, just kind of ask them to, maybe help me out, think of a name and all that kind of stuff, could they still be in our group too? Could they be in both?
Yeah. And the reality is, guys, like, there might be like some hiccups along the road as you're getting your like feet wet and you're trying things out. I have no problem with you. And I don't want anyone to think that I made this tonight to like kick everybody out of my challenge groups, because like that's not it either. I love having you guys in, and I love being able to support you as you're onboarding people. But there becomes a day where they want you, right? And there'll come a day too where like I'm holding you back because I'm not letting you fly. One of the reasons I'm where I'm at in my business is because my coach didn't hold my hand at all, and I had to effing figure it out. Like, and so that's the mentality I have. But unfortunately, I don't often give that to other people, right? And so I don't want to kick you out or anything like that. Your girls are welcome to stay in our groups, but I would love for you to explore just what that looks like for you. Even just creating a name, creating the group, and seeing like how that behind the scenes process works, I think is important too. Because there is a lot of work behind the scenes to make those look the way they look.
Yeah.
Heather, I recommend maybe just popping on with another coach. Even if it's a small group, 10 people, it's different, but it's more close-knit, and you can do just like those Get to Know You Wednesdays and water stuff, because I know me and Elizabeth, and Olivia's in my group too right now, but we're just running something. I mean, we have 30 girls, that's it. I'm not saying all of them post, but like the 3 coaches are the ones giving them the love. I know sometimes when I'm in Britt's group, there's just so many coaches, which I love, but sometimes then I feel like my voice gets hidden. So that's why I'm in my own group.
Okay. Thank you.
No, and I second that also. I love being in Britt's group. I absolutely 100% ditto Amanda on that. With doing it with Erin and Lindsay, it allows us the opportunity to bond with our challengers more one-on-one. And by no means do all of our challengers comment or do any of that, even when we're constantly checking up on them. So it's definitely, I was scared to death when I did my first one. And my first one was a 3-day refresh one that I did. And I did it all by myself. And I did exactly what Britt said. I went into Coach Online Office. I looked at growing your business and all of the things they have for challenge group tools. And they just have so much in there. It helped relieve my anxiety a little bit more, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
I love all that, guys. And I love like watching you guys be able to go off and try your own things, because the only thing that helps me is like being able to learn from your ideas, right? Like, oh my gosh, like I love like Amanda took over our posting last week in our Ultimate Portion Fix group, and now Kristen's taking over this week. And I love watching you guys take over inside my groups, especially when I know you're out running your own somewhere else, because I'm seeing what you're doing without actually being in that group, and it helps me to say, oh, like that's a cool way of wording that, or I love that article they picked, or the way they posted that, we all just benefit from it. So I love watching you guys branch out. Like Leah said, is it pretty the first time? Maybe not, but that's why it's great. Like you wouldn't want to take a tribe of 100 people and burn the house down. You know what I'm saying? Like, but taking 2 people and burning it down, not so bad. You know?
And we are constantly learning from each other. I mean, I go back into old challenge groups and reread some posts to help remind me of things. I look at content you're using now. It's a constant recycling thing, but tweaking it to make it sound like me, not like somebody else.
Yeah. And
Agreed.
all of these things are things we get better at as we go. So like when I'm talking about adding value, the value you might add right now is simply just trying to run your own group. But like for those of you who have been adding value in your own groups, maybe now this is when you get like, and you feel like a broken record. Oh my gosh, I've told them how to change their Shakeology order a million times. Well, maybe this is now where you make a unit in your Facebook group or a file in your resources in your challenge tracker app where it freaking guides them through it, and you can just say, hey, go check out the files tab, or hey, I'll tag you in the units, so you're not wasting time saying the same thing over and over again. So we all might be in different places in terms of how we add the value. But I think that, you know, yeah, it's true. We get better at them every time we run.
Constantly learning.
Always. One thing I'm exploring doing is, so now that I'm having the Self-Care Sisterhood kind of more, rather than stopping the group and opening another one and just plugging people in who want to roll over, everyone just keeps going, just change the name and the theme. One thing I'm exploring with this, though, is having a prep week separate group that once you enroll, I put you in a prep week group so you can understand basically everything that's in that PDF I just showed you. And then once you get through that 7 days or whatever it is, then I'll roll you over into the Self-Care Sisterhood. That way I'm not like a broken record over there with prep week, you know, because there are some foundational things we all have to learn before we dive in that maybe you might not get if the group's just ongoing. So, that's something I'm exploring. So like I said, I'm always evolving and getting better too when I notice something's not quite working. But does this get your wheels turning, you guys, a little bit to maybe try a challenge group or see how you can contribute even better to the ones you're already in?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Britt, I love your idea of getting, you know, what you just said, a prep week, because this morning on the National Wake Up Call, and even with what you're saying, I only have one group going. 365 days is my challenge group, and I'm with them for this whole year. You know, people pop in and people pop out is what I've realized. But it's still nice when they come back, because guess what? We're still there. But for my new challengers, I'm like, this is just the water. So I like your idea of starting a prep week for them.
And laying the expectation. And that could look like a bunch of different things, you guys. That could look like they get an email from you every day. You know, you can even time them out. Like you can pre-post the emails, and they could be, this is what I used to send when a coach would enroll. It used to be like every day a coach got a new email from me about like something about the business. That could be something. Every day for a week, they get an email to you. And after the 7th email goes out, then you plug them in the group so that they already know what to expect. Or maybe it's a separate group, or maybe it's even just a unit tab in your group. If it's on Facebook, you could do that. And there could be like a prep week unit that they go through, whatever that looks like. But I think that's really, that's something I wanted to point out, Amanda, that I actually forgot about, and you just kind of reminded me, was that the easiest Success Club points that I get, you guys, the easiest ones I get are my past customers. They're the ones who love the groups, who, you know, who want in on Transform 20, and so, you know, whatever, we're going to get them the challenge pack. My easiest SC points are my current customers. So taking care of the people who already put their trust in you is just so important, and investing that time into that challenge group. It might feel like a lot of time up front, but it'll pay off long, long, long term for you if you do that. So anything else, guys, before we wrap it up tonight? Okay, I'm going to take a picture then. Get the camera ready. Sit up straight. Make it look like, you know, you were paying attention. I don't know. Just kidding. All right, 3, 2, 1, smile. Yay! All right, ladies, thanks so much. I'll get the recording up. I loved spending my Monday night with you, and I hope that that was helpful for all you guys. I will talk to you later.
Good night.